There you go.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to Dopeless. All right, we're going to talk today about the gift of desperation. Sometime at a point in all of our active addiction, we kind of felt that there had to be something different. Maybe we needed to make a change, man.
Dang it, man.
Need to make a change that all the madness and chaos and misery was going around us. There had to have been something different, something better that we could, the desperation to, practice those three spiritual principles, the honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Who's going to start off?
You want to read the thing that you looked at?
It's on my phone.
I guess that's not happening. I'll start. I'm Jeremy. I'm an addict.
Jeremy.
Desperation's come to different points for me at different in my life, but it was always I was desperate just enough to go to rehab, or just desperate just enough to go do whatever it was until things got a little bit better, and then I would go back to doing what I was doing. This time around, I didn't go to rehab. I didn't do any of that stuff. I was just desperate enough to make the change. See, the drugs stopped doing what they were doing for me. I remember being desperate well before I ever used the first drug, and it was just desperate to fill that void inside of me. And I've heard people say it. It was in a movie I watched the other night. It's like you have this big hole in your chest, and you're putting anything that you possibly can into it to fill that hole. And I've done that with a lot of different things, but drugs were the one thing that seemed to work. And I told myself for a long time that it wasn't that I was addicted, it was that I just didn't want to quit. I just didn't really truly want to quit deep down, or I would tell myself that my willpower wasn't strong enough. And I've come to learn that it doesn't matter the amount of willpower you have, because willpower just makes me think that eventually I can go back to it because my willpower will control it. So for me, there were several points. At one point I was in Arizona, strung out on heroin. Went to leave Arizona because, my family all thought I was clean. As far as they knew I wasn't. I'd been on a run for like a year, and I got on a bus and came back to Oklahoma at like 22, strung out on heroin, thinking I would come back to Ada and straighten my life out. The one place where I used, the reason I left Oklahoma was because of Ada. But I made a lot of geographical changes because I was desperate, thinking that would solve my problem. But over the years, I got to the point where I just thought that I'd accepted the fact that I was living as a drug addict. I was going to die a drug addict, and that's all there was to it. And then, I went through some emotional pain, went through a bunch of different things falling apart and all these things happening, and I was truly desperate. And I was on methadone. I didn't want to go back out and start using again because I knew how that would end up. So I got desperate enough to get down on my knees and ask God for help. And that's where something changed. Now, I haven't been clean since that day, but I started making the progression towards, instead of progressing towards using more and trying to fill that void completely again, because it just wasn't working for me anymore. So I would feel this emotional pain, and I'd put methadone on top of it. I'd smoke a whole bunch of weed. I would do whatever I could find, and the pain was still there. Before, it wasn't. Like I could put a drug in my system, I could drink or whatever, and that pain would go away temporarily. And then I'd wake up the next day, the pain would be back, and I would go right back to whatever chemical it was that I was using at the time to deal with my problem.
Garbage can.
Yeah. I've been addicted to methamphetamine, crack cocaine, heroin, but shooting cocaine. I've taken every possible over-the-counter and, some under the counter. So I've taken every possible drug you can think of, trying to fill that void. I've taken, test chemicals or whatever they're called, all kinds of different things trying to fill that void. And it got to the point where absolutely nothing worked anymore, and I was desperate to not feel the way that I was feeling anymore. And the only way that I ever knew that I ever got any peace in life was working the program in Narcotics Anonymous, which was, this was 20 something years ago. The longest I've ever had clean in my entire adult life was 9 months at 22 years old. I have 6.5, almost 7 months now. And I don't know, I still, for the longest time, glamorized it and thought that I was having fun still. And then it got to a point where I realized that it wasn't about having fun. It was more so about me just numbing myself enough to be able to function in life. There's a train going by, so.
Ada, Oklahoma. Thank you.
But that desperation, it truly was a gift, because never in my life have I ever felt that way. There was other times where like I said, I lost the place that I was living, lost a job, didn't have any money, couldn't get a job, strung out on the street, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and barely functioning to survive. And I'd go, okay, it's time, I'll go to rehab. Well, I've been to rehab 9 times. And the most I've ever put together was 9 months, like I said. So I knew that it wasn't necessarily rehab that I needed to get clean, that I needed to make the decision that no matter what happened, I wasn't going to put a chemical in my body to deal with my emotions. And I got down on my knees that day and I prayed, and I got up the next morning and dumped out my methadone. And I did a lot of stupid stuff between then and the time that I actually count as my clean date. I drank and smoked weed, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just smoke weed and things like that. But I started noticing right away when I was doing those things that I would start to withdraw from my family. I'd isolate myself, and then I started drinking and sitting in my house crying for no reason, trying to numb myself because I still had that emotional pain. And then finally I got to a point and started hanging out with people that were clean and going to meetings all the time and trying to do some step work, and actually trying to make some changes rather than, well, I'm just not using, I'm good. Because that's never worked for me. It will work temporarily for a certain amount of time, and then eventually I go right back to the same shit. And I don't want to go back to the same thing anymore. So this time I'm desperate enough to do what I'm told. And it truly is a gift. I mean, I'm scared to death. Used to, I was not scared of any drug. Any drug. Now I am scared to death to be in the same vicinity as somebody that's getting high, because I don't want to put myself in that position. I don't need to test myself. I know where that leads me, and I don't want to be there anymore. So, I mean, I guess that's really all I had.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Jason, I'm a grateful drug addict.
Jason.
I don't know. We were kind of discussing a little bit earlier, man. Before I went to prison, I got locked up in 2015. I pulled chains, went to prison 2016. Right before that, I was on a good run there in Tulsa where I ran around a lot, and we were motel hopping the people that I was running with for a long time, man. And I used to cry in the shower because there was a room full of people, you know what I mean? And they were all junkies or drug dealers or whatever, hangers on. I remember crying in the shower all the time because, man, since 2008 or 9, when I first started going to Narcotics Anonymous, my high's been messed up. You know, I've always had those feelings that this isn't, something's got to change, something's wrong, you know. And getting out of prison, and I wasn't working any kind of program or anything, but I wasn't getting high. And my sweet grandmother, you know, we took care of her until she died. The day we put her in the ground, I started getting high again, and that sent me on my last run. So when I ended up getting caught up, they offered me drug court here in Pontotoc County, and I took off running. I discussed it a little bit, and when we did the New Year's video, but I remember distinctly whenever I went back to the unit after they were going to let me back out, that I had to change. I had to do everything the complete opposite, man. That I had to become teachable. I had to take suggestions because I knew that there's no way that I can carry on and go the rest of my life, you know, doing anything that that's going to numb my feelings in a responsible manner. I'm a junkie. I'm a garbage can dope fiend. If it makes me feel good, if I enjoy it, I'm going to abuse it straight up. So I try to do that with recovery. You know, I read a lot of my literature, man. I attend meetings. You know, what we're doing. You know, carrying the message. I wanted for a long time what a lot of people that have a lot of recovery want. You know, and I'm finally getting a taste of that serenity, that peace. You know, that. Like Jeremy said, it's a gift. You know what I mean? The desperation that man, you're done, man. You have no other out. You have no other play. You have no other way that you can go on unless you change what you're doing, your actions. You can't. I don't know about these two. I mean, but I guarantee you, I can't responsibly shoot heroin for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I can't.
Recreational heroin use.
Recreational heroin use. Yeah, that's
Functional addict.
Yeah, right. I can't. You know, like. Any drug that I've ever done, I've done it to the max. You know, you did this much. Well, watch this. You know, thought I was invincible. You know, and with the 12-step meetings that we attend to, man, the principles that we follow. You know, the suggestions that we take from our sponsors. You know, the importance of a sponsor is crucial in your recovery. For me, it is anyway, man, because that dude's gonna call me on every single. My friends call me on all my bullshit, guarantee you. But that person, man, there's times that we don't agree with each other, you know. But it's all out of love, and it's because he's experienced. You know, he's sharing his experience, strengths, and hopes, man. Because if it's not gonna work for me, man, and it certainly didn't work for him or the addicts before him. He's gonna tell me about it. And that conscious contact with my higher power, it's been all these years in and out of recovery, and I'm just figuring out what that even means or how to even let go of stuff that I have no control over. So, you know, like Jeremy said, you know, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift that you're given that you can't squander by any means, man. I'm very, very grateful today. This is the most amount of clean time I've ever had, like legitimate working a program. You know, not huff and duster.
Taking Phenibut.
Yeah.
No, that's
Not eating quercetin, you know, I'm not robo tripping, I'm not, you know, drinking Tussin or anything, man. I don't take Benadryl or Tylenol PM, and it's not because I'm not allowed to, it's because, man, I don't even want to, you know. And I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with being comfortable. I'm comfortable in my own skin, you know what I mean? And
Was it no slips, no trips?
no slips, there was no slips, no trips, no slips, no trips,
No slips, no dips, didn't take no trips.
Yeah, didn't make any trips. I heard an old timer from Detroit one time say that. She said she had 26 or 27 years clean. No dips, no slips, no making any trips. That's what it was. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. It's a gift. We're not gonna squander it, right?
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
My name's Ron. I'm a grateful addict. So for so long, y'all's not gonna say my name there? Dang.
What is it?
Welcome, Ronnie.
Ronnie.
We're glad you're here.
We're glad you're here.
For so long, gotta make it about me. I was a functional addict.
Whatever that means.
Exactly. For those in recovery, you know, that's a joke, but for those that don't understand it, it's not real.
It ain't real.
It ain't real. You know, I thought that as long as I didn't let anybody know what I was doing, and I still did the duties that I had to do as far as being a mom, I was good. I never left it out. I never got caught. My kids never seen it. It was okay. But not only was I a functional addict, I was a drug dealer. I had people coming to my garage, you know, getting sacks. And eventually, I'm sure my neighbors noticed I had quite a bit of traffic. And, you know, long story short, I don't live there anymore. But
It's funny how that works.
and they didn't like that. Yeah.
I was part of the neighborhood watch.
Strong
We all have
neighborhood watch.
flashlights, I promise you.
And we know what's inside your car.
Yeah. We know what you brought home last night.
And what time you get home.
Yeah, right.
So once my kids got took from me, somebody had called in on me, and my kids got took. My heart got ripped from my chest, and after so long of having my kids out of my life and having to have constant supervision when I went to go see them, I began to lose myself. just because they were my kids and I wanted to do what I wanted to do with my kids, and if I wanted to take my kids to the store, I wanted to be able to take them. But ICW said different. I couldn't grasp the fact that I was an addict, and I didn't want to accept it, and I didn't want to admit it. But that's who I am today, you know, and I'm proud to say that, you know, I'm a recovered addict, you know. I've been to rehab twice. The first time I got escorted out by the sheriffs, and
I want to hear that story later.
if you
You're cool, I'm out.
Yeah. Let me get my stuff.
You guys aren't just going to teach me how I can use on the weekends?
But the phone call I had to make to my kids when I, you know, failed that program, and when I had to see them face to face because they were so excited that there was a chance closer of them coming home. The disappointment and the hurt, you know, that sent me even deeper into my addiction. So I continued to do classes with 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I ended up having to go on the run. The second time I completed my program, the inspiration that I had before I got onto the plane, my parents took me to the airport. I went to South Coast Behavioral Health in Santa Ana, California. Justin Evans, there's a shout out, and for people that's looking for rehab, they're a really good, strong recovery system. When I was getting ready to get on the plane, I hugged my dad, I hugged my mom, and then I got to my Alana bug. She's 14 now. I went to go give her a hug, and when I hugged her, I thought I had lost, you know, hope with her because, you know, she's a teenager. She didn't really want nothing to do with me. She wouldn't talk to me, but she wanted to go to the airport to see me, I guess, to see if it was real, if I was going. Maybe it was just a car ride, I'm not too sure, but I gave her a hug, and as I hugged her, she was trembling as she hugged me, and she started crying, and she told me she loved me. So I held on to that the whole time I was in treatment, and I knew that I was seeing this tunnel, and down at the very end of that tunnel there was a light. It was a little bit lighter, but it was still a light, and I wanted that light. So I made sure to give every day in my program the best that I could. I made sure to make every day a memory. I made sure to just give my all and try and be a leader, not a follower. And I tell my kids that today when they go to school, be a leader, not a follower. Every day, yes, when I am able to take them to school, because I don't have to do things, I'm able to do things. I'm not owed anything today. So every blessing that I have come before me, I'm just very grateful for it. Before I got on that plane, I was in complete fear because I didn't know how I was going to function without dope. I didn't know how I was going to make it through each day because that was my routine in my addiction. And I'd get up if I even went to sleep, and I'd start my day with a 6-foot line, you know. It is what it is. You know, when I say I'm addicted to more, hi, my name's Ronnie, I'm addicted to more. That's true. I don't say it to make funny. I don't say it to make jokes. I don't say it to think I'm cool or anything. I don't want just a little bit. I want all of it. I want everything. I want more of the sack, and I don't stop until the sack's gone. You know, my friends are gone, till my house is gone, till my kids are gone, till my sanity is gone, till I completely lose myself completely, and I look in the mirror and I don't like who I see in the mirror. So it was so important for me to give my treatment program everything I have. And with doing that, you know, seeking my higher power, I quit believing in God. The only time I believed in God was when I was sitting in front of a casino machine, or when I was picking up from the dope man.
Or in jail.
Or in jail. Yeah, yeah.
Foxhole
You know,
Parade.
yes.
Please get me out of here.
Yes.
I won't do it again. I
Dear
swear.
Lord, please, if you please get me out of jail, I'll never get high again. As soon as I get out of jail, I was going straight to the dope man's house to get high, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it, you know, and I do have family watching this, but they don't know that side of me. Thank God, you know? They just know the horrible person that I used to be. Not necessarily scumbag, stealing stuff, but just... I didn't mean to come out like that. Not...
Put me on blast, bro. my family don't talk to me anyway, so it's cool, man. It really is cool.
And that was one thing that I I was very strong about was I never stole from my family. I never stole money. I never stole purses. I never stole belongings. I never stole anything like that. I'd steal from stores, but I'd never steal from my family, from my people. And so, but I was still an addict, and I knew that there was something that wasn't right with me. So they were extra cautious with me, and in my mind, they were talking about me, and they didn't want to be around me because I was an addict. But that was just my mind playing tricks on me. A good 30, 60 days cleaning, and your mind starts to get a whole lot clearer.
It took me a lot longer than that.
Theirs stayed the same. I promise you. Yeah, the people that you did wrong, they don't forget that.
Yeah,
stuff, man. But that's all right, man.
Yeah.
They'll come around.
One day at a time. Just the thing that pushed me to stay sober was I've come so far to get to where I'm at and to have what I have and the restored relationships that I have. And I just don't ever want to fail anybody anymore. I don't ever want to have to look my mom in the eyes and say, Mom, I'm sorry, I got high. Because that would crush her, that would kill her. So that completely ruins my next high, thinking of my family, thinking of my kids, I'm very blessed to have a good, strong support group with these rooms, with my family, with my friends, with my circle. That's what's pushing me to drive to keep that good old gift. And it is a gift. So I think that's all I got. Oh yeah.
Oh, stop it. Oh man, yeah, that's it, man. It was. I was, man. I've scumbag for a long time. It's a joke, but I mean, it's straight up, man, and that's a lot of.
He's red. He's a different shade of red.
Yeah, I'm a different shade of red.
Both y'all.
Both y'all. Why do I parrot everything you guys say?
Father, son.
Right, father, son. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody thought he was my dad the other day. Well, he's still tu papa. Yeah, man. I ripped off.
Like that, son.
I really ripped off my whole family, man. They don't trust me still, and I don't blame them, man. And I don't sit around, feeling. It's gonna sound. I don't sit around and dwell on that and feel. Of course, I have remorse for what I've done, man. Absolutely. I'm not a psychopath or a sociopath, but I.
Kind of.
Like
But
first key.
Right. But that's why it's so important because my words don't mean shit. And I've said this for a couple days ago. I've been saying it for months now. They really don't. To a lot of the people that know me from my past, and then even some that know me from just here recently, my words, man. Well, I mean, other than the 9 months of recovery I put together, but before that, man, my words they don't mean anything, man, because I've done this a lot of times. I've gotten clean and everything for all intents and purposes is good, but I'm gradually shedding weight.
Can too.
All right. No, there's no way. But so that living amends, man, that me just showing that man, I'm doing right, and I'm okay with that. I really am. The further I progress in my program, and the further I progress in my step work, and that stuff's gonna come, man. I got 3 kids out there that I miss and love dearly. Think about them every day. Not a lot of things keep me up at night, but my children for sure do sometimes, and that's healthy. It shows that I am still here and in the present, and I'm pretty okay with everything that goes on these days. And if I'm not, then I don't let it ruin my day. It's a bad 5 or 10 minutes rather than a whole bad day. So yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
So
All right,
please like, comment, subscribe. If you need help, please reach out.
Reach out.
Message through Facebook Messenger. You can email us. There's all kinds of things you can do. If you know somebody that has a problem that needs help, please have them contact us because that's the reason we're doing this.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Thank you.
Until next week.
If you guys have an
Thank you
addict
for-
that's suffering, share this video.
Yeah.
Have them message us. Reach out to us. We love all addicts that are still suffering. We know what that burn is. We know what that hurt and that pain. You aren't alone. I promise you're not alone.
No, not at all.
We've all been there
No.
at some time in our recovery. So
Thank you for all of your support, man. everybody running around town with our name on their shirt. Or,
I think my favorite thing is coming to a meeting and seeing everybody wearing Dopeless shirts. We thank you guys so much
yeah. That's a pretty
for
big
supporting
deal,
us. We
man.
really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the support. Like, comment, subscribe,
Like, comment, subscribe.
etc. Until next time.
Palabra.
Palabra.